joined us on the phone line. Professor Bafour Agyeman-Duah is former UN advisor on governance as well. Prof, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Star.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
And thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us this morning. What do you make of this never-ending debate, seemingly, about the placement of an apostrophe, when it comes to talking about the people who were instrumental in making Ghana what it is today?
Well, first of all, let us be clear that historians write history. Politicians make history. This is what the late Professor Dubois, a well-known scholar in history, when he decided to run for the presidency of this country back in the 92 or so, his as a historian, for us to know that it is not politicians who write history. The history of this country must be written and has been written by historians. That's where we all go. Of course, it doesn't exclude those with personal experiences, even if they are not historians. They can also contribute to history. After all, we have what we call oral historians. That's also recognized. So anybody can talk history. But in terms of an issue like this, I think it's important we go to the facts as established by historians. And I think these energies we're expending on whether it should be apostrophe before or after S and all, it's a waste of national time. And I wish the president had not instigated this debate again, because when he instituted the holiday for founders, certainly there was some national discussions on that. It's gone. They're coming back to forcefully indicate that you completely reject the notion. In a way, it's right, in the sense that when a country is being founded, it's not easy to say that one person founded it, and that is clear. It's clear that one person cannot found a nation. After all, in our history, it's clear that the UGCC, which was the first political party in the country, formed in 1947, with the objective of seeking independence from colonial rule. It was that UGCC looking for a dynamic young person to be the general secretary to help to organize the UGCC. That was the motive for bringing Nkrumah from London to the Gold Coast in 1947 to be the secretary for the UGCC. So in that respect, both Nkrumah and those who brought him were all anxiously looking for independence for the country. All right? So in that context, it may not be fair to make it look like it was only Nkrumah who fought for independence. But if you go beyond that initial history that has been created, that fact, if you go beyond that, to when Nkrumah realized that his vision, his ideas were contrary to what other people have, he broke away and formed the CPP. And because of his dynamism and his own visions and analysis, he quickly overshadowed those in the UGCC who were looking for independence in the shortest possible time, whereas Nkrumah was looking for it now. See, approaches were different. But again, once Nkrumah set himself up on this new trajectory, certainly he overshadowed them. In all elections prior to independence, he overwhelmed the UGCC people, leading to a UGC to collapse and a new formation, UP and all that. So that for me is the issue. Do we have to then begin to split beans over whether Nkrumah alone founded it or the others founded it? Of course, others helped to bring it about. But you see, our history also tells us that in the course of Nkrumah spearheading the nation towards independence, there were all kinds of things that were done by those guys in the UGC to undermine him, to the extent that even at one point, one of them had the courage to write to the colonial masters to please delay. Don't go by Nkrumah's submission. Delay because we are not ready, blah, blah, blah. All these things happen. That takes away from them their original objective or vision for independence. You can make the judgment yourself. After saying all this, look, the fact will still remain that Nkrumah stands tall amongst all politicians in this country from that time, 1947, to today. No president has ever come close to his accomplishment, especially on the continental level, on the global level, and even domestically, in terms of his initiatives for development, his vision for development and all. So Nkrumah stands, he stands in his own. Nobody comes close. That's why the BBC made him the man of the millennium. Okay? And that was a global search before he was made that point. So Nkrumah has his own track. Now, if people begin to go back to our original history and you are using that to, I hope they don't use that to degrade him or to spite him or anything of the sort. Then I think it's okay for people to say that, look, initially, he wasn't the only one who brought it about. He could have come from London to set up his own party. I'm sure he would have done that in due time. But the fact remains that he was brought by the UGCC to help in fighting for independence. This is the history we know. And I think politicians this should not become a debate again. We've gone through that. And so I don't know what else people want.
So how should we be situating this history that we have as a country? Of course, we know that we learn these things when we are in school, even from primary school. In social studies, you learn the history of the country and how Ghana got independence. Of course, you learn about the UGCC, you learn about the Big Six, you learn about Kwame Nkrumah. So that is there. But in celebrating something like Founders Day, how do we situate it? Do we situate it as, okay, like what the president is saying, it's not one man, and so we are celebrating everybody who founded Ghana, or Founders Day, because Ghana was our first president. Kwame Nkrumah is the arrowhead, and Founders Day mainly is about Kwame Nkrumah. And perhaps we are celebrating also the other people who fought in the independence struggle. How do we situate all of this as a country, once and for all, in your estimation?
I think in a way, the president has done that. First, by instituting Kwame Nkrumah's birthday for us to celebrate him. September 21st. It's a national holiday. You know that. It was for Kwame Nkrumah alone. We celebrate him on his birthday. Then he has instituted 4th of August as the Founders' Day, recognizing all those who struggled for this country to be where it is. This, I thought, we have settled it. And Nkrumah's position, whether you call him the founder or one of the founders, for me, is immaterial. That's what I keep saying, that Kwame is in his own class. No amount of anything we say or write can diminish his standing in our politics, in our African politics, and even international politics. It's there. It's established. So why are we wasting our energy to kind of split beans over whether it was Nkrumah? Of course, you can't deny that. Just as I believe that those who came together in 1947 to form the first political party for independence, they also deserve their place. So now where is the debate? Where is the debate? I don't see it.
Do you think there are political implications, for the way and manner the president has been advancing his arguments about the place of the founders of the UGCC, especially given how the politically non-aligned are taking this?
And that's why I started by saying that politicians don't write history. And they are making this issue political. Now it's even widening the divide in our politics in the country. Because I know that the other party has also responded. And once this happens, then we are the cacophony of. Okay. So, look, I don't even know what to say. The president, I found the president's latest comment completely unnecessary. It It wasn't necessary for him. After all, when these things were instituted some years back, the debate ensued and it passed. So why do you come back to try to insist that you cannot accept one person as a founder? Yeah, sure. If you don't want to accept that, that's fine. You see, because the president's related to Danquah, it makes people think that he's just pursuing a family agenda. And that's not even healthy for him. It's not healthy. And as a president also, you're president for the whole nation. So when you know that there is a divided opinion on something, you don't champion one side as a leader of the nation. So these kind of things personally disturb me, that a leader of the nation should not be leading us into this kind of needless, completely needless debates and division in the country. All right? We know, in fact, if it's our history that is not well written, let's get our historians to write and let's teach our kids so they'll grow up with the true history of the country, but not what any politician believes is a history. That's what I started by saying that. You politician, you do your politics, and you make history. Politician, you make your history by how you lead the country, where you bring this country to. That will be the history that you have made. So next year, tomorrow, if a historian is writing about Ghana history, they can say in 2024, this guy was the president, he brought this country this far, he did this, he did that, he did that. That would be for a historian to judge. Okay? So we shouldn't make these issues a political football. We have bigger things ahead of us. This country is almost on its knees. These are the issues that should attract our interest for us to seek solutions so that all of us can enjoy our beautiful country.
Now, I mean, we've seen presidents in this country who have not necessarily, gone along these lines. I mean, these conversations did not come up under former President Kufuor. How did he stay clear of these, of these things?
Well, again, it depends on the leadership and the character of the leader. It's true that this has not become an issue. It's become an issue ever since our current president came into power. That's why I made the point that by the way he pushes this idea, it makes people think. Maybe wrongly, but that's the impression we got, is that because he's related to Danquah, being a grandnephew or something like that, he wants to simply push because of his family commitment. And that is not the right thing to do as a leader. In fact, this issue could be pushed or advocated by, say, the Danquah Institute. And I think the institute was set up with the name of Danquah to memorialize him and to preach his ideas, his philosophy, his contribution to the nation. That is perfect. Nothing stops the Danquah Institute from spearheading this kind of discussion. It is perfectly in order for it to do so. But not for a leader who has been elected to represent all of us, to bring issues that are divisive. And I think that's where the difference is. So, yes, it hasn't become an issue in our political discourse until the president insisted. In fact, I think when the president led the institution of the Founders Day and Nkrumah's birthday as independent birthday for Nkrumah to memorialize him, people were not happy, but at least it was accepted and it's gone. 21st September, those who love Nkrumah can organize their... You see, again, at times we look to government to do... Once Nkrumah's Day has been instituted, his birthday, I don't see why on that day, those who cherish Nkrumah, those who claim to be CP, his party's ideology, themselves can organize lectures, organize symposium, organize marches to commemorate his day. You see, people tend to defer everything for government to do. Again, we have to empower ourselves. The day has been reserved for Kwame. What are the lovers of Kwame Nkrumah? What did they do when we get to September 21st? It's a day for them to commemorate. Did they do that? I haven't seen that. So I think Ghana will just be like talking, debating, arguing. Practical actions that we can do to manifest such important personalities and days, we don't. And I guess I'm contributing to the discussion, the debate, so I'm also a talker, I admit. But I don't champion, I love Kwame Nkrumah, but I don't march for him. So those who love him, who are angry that this thing has been done, on the 21st of September, we should see them doing something. I will attend, organize a seminar, organize a symposium, organize a lecture, march on the street to commemorate him, have his picture all over the place. That to be part of our democratic spirit.
Very well, Prof. We'll leave the conversation here. We know you have to go, but we're very grateful that you're speaking to us here on the Morning Star.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Professor Bafour Agyeman-Duah speaking to us there. Professor Bafour Agyeman-Duah is a governance expert, is the CEO of the Baffour Foundation, and of course, he's a former UN advisor on governance as well. It brings the time to 8:27 a.m. You've heard him there, speak to this issue of the seemingly never-ending debate on a founder or founders, and it's an interesting conversation that is going on. But like we heard him there say, the politicization is not something that is really helping anyone.